This is the STV News. Good evening. Two former ministers hoping to replace Boris Johnson as Prime Minister say at least another decade should pass before IndyRef 2 is held. Jeremy Hunt and Sajid Javid said the First Minister's proposed date of October 2023 is too soon. They are in the running alongside 7 other MPs, with Trade Minister Penny Mordaunt becoming the latest to launch her campaign. Our political reporter Laura Alderman has the story.
Our leadership has to change.
Launching her leadership bid today with this bold video, Trade Minister Penny Mordaunt becomes the 9th MP to join the race to become Prime Minister. She's popular with young people and already has the backing of some Scottish MPs.
I was very impressed with Penny and her ability to communicate, her ability to run a department, her sense of service and duty to the government and also to the country.
More MPs in the running to replace Boris Johnson were doing the media rounds this morning. Sajid Javid and Jeremy Hunt weighed in on the issue of Scottish independence, saying it should be at least 10 years before IndyRef 2, long after the First Minister's timetable date of October next year. Another candidate for PM said this on the issue.
You're arguing that the polls aren't pointing in the direction that the SNP wish, and actually they're failing in education and they're failing in healthcare, and now they're trying to distract by talking about separation again. I'm afraid this is a cheap political play.
The rules for the leadership contest will be set out tomorrow, but there's still no guarantee those who've put their names forward will actually get onto the ballot paper and continue in the race. Laura Alderman, STV News.
It's been 2 years since A&E targets were hit. The most recent figures show almost 9,000 people, the highest number on record, waited more than the target of 4 hours to be seen. The Scottish Government says rising COVID cases are once again reducing hospital capacity and causing staff shortages. The Scottish Liberal Democrats say the problem is more deep-rooted.
We've got a long-running problem, and the former Chief Executive of NHS Scotland said that we can't blame the pandemic, that this is down to very poor workforce planning. And that's why we need a proper strategy now around retention of staff, because we're losing lots of staff. We also need to recruit staff up to safe staffing levels.
Scotland's newly appointed chief entrepreneur will be paid more than the First Minister and the Prime Minister for working 8 days a month. Ministers say it's an investment that will reap rewards for the nation. Opposition politicians have called former Skyscanner boss Mark Logan's £2,000 a day salary crass in the midst of the cost of living crisis. Ian Ramage reports.
Scotland's newly appointed chief entrepreneur enjoys some art on his first day in the job. Mark Logan visiting the Inverness Creative Academy, a hub for talented artists, small businesses and social enterprises.
My job is to act as a focal point to help coordinate and develop policy, work with the government and with our agencies and our many wonderful entrepreneurs in the country to create the best possible conditions for entrepreneurialism to flourish and hence for our people to flourish.
Mr Logan, previously a high flyer with online travel firm Skyscanner, will be paid £192,000 a year for working 8 days a month. In the midst of the cost of living crisis, people will hope it pays dividends.
It's crass, it's the wrong thing to do, and that money should be much better invested in getting entrepreneurs who are actually going to build the economy off the ground.
The Scottish Government says the salary reflects the experience, expertise and knowledge required for the role.
It's one of the most exciting announcements, I would say, since the National Strategy for Economic Transformation was published in March. I've put entrepreneurship front and centre of that strategy because ultimately it's Scotland's citizens with their ingenuity, their innovation, who will drive growth over the next 10 years. And Mark's position will ensure that that happens.
Mr Logan's appointment will be reviewed in 2 years' time. Ian Ramage, STV News.